Episode 3 of the Duck Boat Dispatch. We are back. Week 3. Tom, Josh, Sara. Very quiet sports week. However, still plenty to talk about. Stefon Diggs was caught on a boat with a bunch of strippers. Knots. I don't really know what you want to call them. The Boston Red Sox lost 5 in a row. Celtics obviously out of the playoffs. Some Drew Holiday potential trade situations being tossed around. Some Jaylen Brown trade situations. We'll get into all of that. The Bruins may have a new head coach. There's 2 or 3 possible guys that are in the running. I know one of them is Marco Strum, former player, and the other guy's name is escaping me right now. But we'll get into all that. Again, myself, Tom Christofuli here, Josh Bracken, and Sara. How are we doing, guys? Anybody want to say hello?
I thought Sara was going to say something. I saw her nodding her head.
Sorry. I'm good. Boring week, sports-wise.
My feet hurt at the moment. Golf course. I've been. I have a cart, but when I'm actually doing the job, I have to get on my feet. So I've been up on my feet since 4:30 this morning. I've been up since 4. No, I'm part of the grounds crew.
Oh.
It's fun, but I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day, so I've almost been up for 12 hours.
It's fun because of the people you work with, because they're dogs.
Dude, oh my god, let me tell you about the people I work with. Some of them are just like kids my age, like 21-year-old college students. But then the veterans who work there are these 5 guys from Jamaica. And they are the coolest people I've ever met because they're the funniest people. Second, they're the most hardworking you'll ever meet. So it's like you'll be like doing hard work, like down in the ground, like getting dirty, and then they'll just like start making some like inappropriate joke right next to you, and it's like the greatest time ever. They'll just start ripping jokes. They somehow pull off to like do work without doing the work. I don't get it.
There are some Jamaican guys that work at the restaurants that I work at. First off, nicest people.
Oh, they're so nice.
And there's a girl that works at Giordano's with me. She's not even like in the same part of the restaurant that I work in, but she is literally the nicest person I have ever met.
Did she ever teach you what bumbleclaw means?
Yes, that's flying around my restaurant all the time.
There's Josh's first swear on this.
Yeah. I knew that was coming the second I brought up the golf course.
But no, they're literally the nicest people, and they're, like you said, hilarious.
Well, when it comes to, it sounds like they're all hard workers. Who's currently not working hard are the Boston Red Sox, as they have lost 5 straight. No, I'm working hard, bro. This is my first day off in a while. Boston Red Sox lost 5 straight. They got swept by the Brewers, who suck. I know we're not the most knowledgeable when it comes to baseball, the 3 of us here, but short story, the Brewers suck, and the Red Sox got swept by them. 2 1-run losses again. I believe that is their 15th and 16th 1-run losses this season, and they get walked off in extras with the grand salami. Liam Hendricks was the pitcher for that inning in overtime. They're just bad. There's really no way to put it. Reb Snyder said it in the locker room after the grand slam walk-off. They just suck right now. They don't really know what's going on. They just suck. They bring up Marcelo Mayer, Alex Bregman, the third baseman. He's out for an extended period of time. They bring up Marcelo Mayer, one of the top 10 prospects in baseball. I believe he was the 7th best prospect in baseball, so they bring him up. Guy's been mashing in Worcester. And the guy they have not brought up yet, Roman Anthony, who's in Worcester. He's playing for the Woo Sox. He's in the Red Sox farm system. He is the number 1 overall prospect in all of Major League Baseball. And this dude is mashing in AAA. He is hitting the stitching off of the ball for the Woo Sox right now. He had a home run yesterday, exit velocity of 116 miles per hour off the bat, and he is yet to be called up for the Boston Red Sox, which to me makes no sense. They suck right now. If they're going to suck for the rest of the season, they may as well just bring up all of the kids. Campbell's already up in the majors. He started in the majors. Mayer comes up because of an injury. There's no reason Roman Anthony should not be on this team. If he can produce, and he'll have growing pains. All the young guys have growing pains. We're seeing it with Christian Campbell right now. He is struggling at the bat. He's struggling in the field. but they're also trying to teach him a new position, so he has kind of that leeway for it. They move Mayer to third base right now. Bring up Roman Anthony. There's no reason to have the number one prospect in baseball developing at Worcester when your team sucks. Just let him develop in the majors. There's no point. The Red Sox are batting they're batting 0.36 with runners in scoring position. They're leading the majors in errors, I'm pretty sure, and if they're not, they're behind the Colorado Rockies, who were literally on pace to have a worse record than the Chicago White Sox last year, and the White Sox set the record for the worst record in Major League history, which is how bad the Rockies have been this year, and the Red Sox have just as many errors or like just behind them in errors. So there's no reason not to bring Anthony up and just move people around to places they need to play. I know you guys, again, not the biggest baseball guys, but any thoughts on the Red Sox and what's going on with them?
No, to me, I'm kind of with you on it. To me, it's a waste of talent not bringing him up when he is performing that well and considering how bad they're doing. To me, it's like if you're not gonna make any, if you I forget the saying, but like if you keep doing the same thing and think you're gonna get a different outcome, it's like the definition of insanity or something like that. That to me is kind of what the Red Sox are going through right now, where they're just doing the same thing over and over, not making any like changes. Like they, brought a few guys up so far, but if they're just gonna keep continuing going this way, then you're going to get the exact same result. If you think this is going to go any up from here, then you're insane, because you're going to end up being a completely neutral team. And don't they have like a completely neutral record in the past like half decade or something?
They're 2 games below 500 right now, I'm pretty sure. But they are, the last few years, they've been a 500 ball club where they'll win 2 and lose 2, or they'll win 1 and lose 1.
They're and like 400. They're like 490 something on both ends. Like they're completely neutral within the past like half decade.
I think since their last playoff berth, they are literally a 500 ball club. They have been the definition of mid, and some of that falls on Alex Cora, some of that falls on Craig Breslow and Chaim Bloom, who was the GM before Craig Breslow was there. But I think a lot of it falls on John Henry and the culture he is allowed to exist there in between the walls of Fenway Park of just mediocrity. And something has to change. Whether it's you can Alex Cora, who you just signed to a long-term extension, I don't know if that's the solution, because I think he can still manage and he's being paid like a top manager. I just don't think they have like the culture there. And yeah, maybe that does fall on Alex Cora, and maybe I just kind of contradicted myself, but I don't have the answer for the Boston Red Sox right now. What I can tell you is Roman Anthony should be on this ball club. They had a day off today, and he's playing in Worcester. I don't know why they're not calling him up. Alex Cora spoke about it today and said he's not knocking doors down. He has knocked doors down. Okay, then why the hell isn't he on the baseball team? Why the hell is he just rotting away in AAA, having a great old time? Let him come up to the major leagues and mash and figure it out, and maybe we can salvage some of this season, and maybe we can still make the playoffs in a very bad AL East where the Yankees are the only team with a damn in your division. It makes no sense to me whatsoever, and the fact that they haven't called them up just, again, shows that the level of mediocrity they are okay with having. They went out and they appeased the fans in free agency, and they brought in Garrett Crochet, and they paid him all this money to be the ace, and the guy goes out there and they cap him at like 85 pitches a game. No, if your bullpen is taxed, let the some bitch throw 100 pitches per game and bring you all the way into the 7th inning, and then have Liam Hendricks, Chapman, Whitlock come out and close out that game for you. What they're doing isn't winning. They're not putting their best guys out there to win in these situations. And that's what's bothering me the most about this Red Sox team is they have a lot of talent. They should be better than this, given some guys are playing way worse than you thought they were going to play. Trevor Story, I don't know if the guy can play in Little League right now. He sucks. Oh my God. The dude is an automatic out at the plate. He's batting like 210 so far this season, and that's when he is having a good mid-April, bringing in those stats. He has been terrible in the month of May. Cedar Rafaela, he's phenomenal in the field. Dude can play like 7 different positions in the outfield, but he cannot get a hit for the life of him right now. He's terrible. And then you're playing Abraham Toro at first base right now because Tristan Casas is out, and you're mixing him in there with like Blake Sobel or whatever the hell the other dude's name is, and they suck at the plate as well. So you have 3 guys who can't hit the baseball at all on any given night. Then you have guys like Christian Campbell, who's struggling, Jaron Duran, who's playing well, but he has a few of those days where he's not hitting the ball as well. Willie Abreu, who's been one of the hottest hitters on this team, has those nights where he's not always on. The only guy who's been consistent at the plate this season since his slow start is Devers. And Devers doesn't even want to go back and play third base. On that Bregman's up. That fat ass wants to sit on the bench when they're in the field because he realizes, oh, I'm a really good hitter and not a good third baseman. Let's not help the team out and play third base. Instead, let's sit in the dugout and chew massive amounts of big league chew and chewing tobacco and watch as they commit error after error after error. It is just a frustrating season for the Boston Red Sox so far. Not even halfway through the season. What are we? End of May, about to enter June, and they should be better than this. The last few years was okay when they sucked because they had no expectations. We knew they were going to suck. They had expectations going into this, and I know I'm doing most of the talking, but I'm also the guy here who has $100 on over 86.5 wins on the Boston Red Sox this season.
That's on you.
No, that was a damn good bet. That was a damn good bet.
No, you can't say anything about you like losing bets or anything. Like that's gambling is on you. Where does the money come from? It comes from your pocket, your decision. You can't go blame every single player that sells your parlay, Jacoby Myers, okay?
Don't even get me going to Jacoby Myers. That's a low blow, Josh. That's a low blow. Okay, you know that one still affects me. That was a snipe of a parlay he sold.
Good. I hope he sold it. Maybe you'll learn a lesson to not make absurd bets all the time.
Josh,
you to stop betting since freshman year.
That's not what we're talking about right now, guys. We're not talking about my gambling. Now it is
what we're talking. No, now it is what we're talking about. Who said it? We can't. Yes, we absolutely can.
Speaking of gambling, very off topic. What's up, Sarah?
I said you just don't want anyone to know that you're bad at it.
I am a bad gambler. I'm on a crazy cold streak. I'm on a crazy cold streak right now. It's been like a year since I cashed at the casino as well.
How many times have you hit and how many times have you lost?
Oh, I've lost way more than I've hit.
Yeah, so maybe we should stop.
No, you gotta fight through. Speaking of gambling.
So hold on, I need to go back to my definition that I recently said. If you keep doing the same thing and think you're gonna get to an outcome, Tom, that's the definition of insanity. So maybe go get yourself checked out sometime soon.
No, 1-800-GAMBLER. I'm not calling.
Oh my god. Honestly,
can we put that number on the screen?
No. I don't want to offend anybody that might actually have if you do genuinely have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLE. I'm not there.
You just pointed to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
You?
To me.
Oh, Tom's to my right on my screen. I'm pointing to him right now.
I think you're always, because you are always on the far right, I believe, on your screen. I believe that's how it works.
I don't know.
I'm always in the middle.
Yeah, I'm on the far right.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think most people would have had the Red Sox over a 500 ball club, because that's all I'm asking them to do over 86.5 is to be above a 500 ball club, and they're not. 86.5 means they 87 and 85, which the talent on the roster, they are very capable of doing that. They just suck right now, and it's driving me up a wall. And I just want them to call up Roman Anthony, because if they're going to suck, just let me enjoy watching the young guys. It's very much like the Patriots last year. Yeah, they were terrible, but at least we could watch Drake May go out and play football and be like, ooh, we get to go watch Drake May play. Now we can go out and go watch Christian Campbell play. We can go watch Marcelo Mayo play. We can go watch Roman Anthony play and watch these young guys develop.
This is just Jacoby Brissett, Patriots.
Yeah, I like Jacoby Brissett, and if I get hate for that, I don't care. I like him. Drake May, yes, great quarterback, but I didn't like watching him throw to someone who fucking dropped the ball every single time. Like, that's frustrating.
Yeah, but at least we could go out and say, yeah, well, we know they're not going to win the game, but what you're looking forward to watching the game that makes it somewhat enjoyable to watch the game is at least we get to watch Drake May. And that was enough. If the Red Sox are going to suck like the Patriots sucked last year, at least we can go and watch Roman Anthony play, Marcelo Mayer play, Christian Campbell play.
You at least, when you're watching a shitty team, you at least want them to play another shitty team, so there's some kind of game and not just a total blowout. Because watching
the Red Sox,
if you're watching a total blowout, it's a waste of time, in my opinion. Like, yeah, I'll watch the game because I'm going to support my team, but I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, well, the Red Sox are going to go play the Braves, a 3-game series, and they're going to get the absolute crap kicked out of them. The Braves are they're probably going to get swept by the Braves and lose 8 in a row. Or they're going to lose a bunch of games by 1 run. Again, because this team is allergic to winning a one run game. It's frustrating. And I just think there's no reason Anthony shouldn't be called up. If you take anything from this, Roman Anthony should be called up yesterday. Trevor Story should be on the bench, but you have to play him because you have nobody else. So to sum it all up, this is what I think the Red Sox field should look like moving forward. First base, Campbell. Second base, Story. Third base, shortstop, Meyer. Third base, Cedon Rafaela. Jarren Duran in center field. Roman Anthony in the field. Willie Abreu in the field. Narvaez is your catcher. That should be the 8 for the Red Sox. Your starting pitcher is Garrett Crochet. The rest of the starting pitchers, besides Hunter Dobbins and a few other guys, have been pretty sucky. Bayo's been really bad. Tanner Houck's been really bad this year as well. But at least that should be your outfield for the time being, and let those guys develop and hit the ball. When Bregman comes back, you can put Bregman back at third. Cedon can kind of be your utility guy. He can play second base when Story has a day off. He can play shortstop when Mayer has a day off. He can be in the field when those guys have a day off. But that's what this lineup should look like moving forward ahead of the trade deadline, and just see if they can get out of this rut they're in and let the young guys develop. If you're going to suck, let the young guys develop. And speaking of sucking, Boston sports might be at its all-time low since 2000. It's been 25 years since we've had such I don't want to say depressing, but just not hopeful, not promising, not winning. Like, there's no team that I think is going to win a championship this year for Boston sports, which is, I think, the first time I can say that in my lifetime, that there isn't a team that's going to be contending for a world championship. And Dan Shaughnessy, who writes for the Boston Globe, does great work, one of the greatest Boston sports writers of all time. Titletown is back to Loserville now. They were losers again, is what he said. And I don't know if that's too soon. I see, Sarah, your eyes went wide when we said back to Loserville. I think it's too soon to call us Loserville. We're definitely in a rut when it comes to Boston sports. What do you think about that, Sarah?
I disagree. Probably because I'm too ignorant to accept it. But I just think this is like our Great Depression. It's the Great Depression of Boston sports. But we will come back.
I'm going to say no.
No, go ahead.
I'm simply going to say no, and I know that because it's obvious they're not going to do it next year with the injury, but I'm going to say no simply because we literally won the championship last year.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's not like they're 4 or 5 years removed from a world championship in the city.
I think the only reason people are going to say that, though, is because obviously the Celtics won't win next year just because of Tatum being out for potentially the entire season, and now Brown having that potential surgery. So it's clear that the Celtics aren't going to win it, but then you have to remember, the year after the moves, like, the team is still a playoff team that's going to contend. It's not like Jason Tatum just retired and we just, lost Jaylen Brown in free agency, and now our star player is now Derek White on the team. Like, no, this team is still going to be a team you have to get around to if you want to succeed. But I don't think it's just because of the one sad year the Celtics are going to have doesn't mean that Boston becomes a Loserville team, despite the Bruins, Patriots, and Red Sox all being dumpster fire teams right now.
I definitely do. Yeah, you make a lot of great points, Josh. You can't say they're Loserville because they're not even a full calendar year since they won their last championship, which would be, it's going to be June 17th, will be one calendar year since since Boston's won a championship. But I think if it goes like this for another 3-4 years, where the Celtics, yeah, they're going to be good. They're going to be the one team that keeps them from being those kind of Loserville, keeps us out of Loserville for a while. Yeah, Tatum's going to be out for most of the year next year, if not the entire year. I think he'll be gone for the entire year personally. Just if you look at the time frame of other people who have had the similar injury, like Kevin Durant, he was out for 525 days. That brings them to like November 26th, I want to say, of the 2026-25 season. So Tatum, in my mind, scratch. He's out for the full year. You're going to move KP, you move Drew Holiday, you move Hauser. You still have some sort of playoff team here in Boston. So at least we'll have a playoff team next year. And to me, that keeps the city out of Loserville. As long as you have one team that's in the playoffs, kind of competing, not really competing, but in the playoffs, you make the dance. Counts enough in my mind. But with the Red Sox right now, Absolutely. They've been losers since that 2018 World Series. Patriots have been losers since Tom Brady left. The Bruins, yeah, they might have had the most impressive regular season of all time when it comes to NHL, but they've been losers for over a decade now. They lose Game 7. Yeah, you're competing for a world championship, but they lose Game 7. Losers. And they haven't won in over a decade, but they've been competing. So does competing enough keep them, it doesn't bring us title town. You gotta win titles to not be losers in the city. So it is a very interesting spot that Boston sports are in, where for the first time in 20 years, no one's competing next year for a world championship. No one is going to.
I also think just because most of the carrying from that was simply just Tom Brady and the Patriots. So now that dynasty is over, yeah, of course you're going to say we're no longer like the city of champions right now simply because we don't have a 20-year-long dynasty with us anymore. Like, I think that's also, the reason. People see that the Patriots aren't winning a ton. Yeah, you had the Red Sox win a little bit, the Celtics did, the Bruins did, but it was mainly the Patriots. Yeah, I think because Boston/New England doesn't have that anymore, I think that's where people are coming from, is because they're not hearing the Patriots in the headlines every single morning.
They're hearing the more negative side of, oh, the Patriots have a losing streak. Oh, the Patriots haven't been in the playoffs since, what, 2019? No.
They 2021.
2021, because Mac Jones.
Whatever Mac's rookie year was.
I was thinking Brady. Well, we haven't been to the Super Bowl since 2019, but that's different. And I don't, yes, we're still, out of at least, actually, I think we're still the most winning state, championship.
When it comes to, yeah.
We're still number one, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
New York might be one, because the Yankees have 27 World Series.
I was going to say, might be New York simply because of the Yankees.
Yeah, just because of the Yankees, because they cancel out the Celtics 18.
Yeah.
And keep 9, yeah. So New York out, and they have more teams.
Well, okay, we have one team.
Yeah,
if you take just the 4 big teams, they still probably take it with the Yankees.
Qualify in my mind.
It's the Yankees. It's the New York. I found it.
Yeah, it's absolutely New York. And the Yankees have 27. They help out. You can. It is what it is. I don't like the Yankees either.
I at least know not to like the Yankees.
Yankees come to town. They're in June.
Nathan Carpentier.
Yeah, Nate Carp's a big Yankee guy.
You don't want to get him and I started.
No.
That's happening.
The Yankees won't win the World
Series. It's either that or Duff with Bama.
I'd rather go Bama.
I think that would be a lot more fun.
Hold my own with Bama.
Calling Tyler Duffy.
No, we'll definitely have Duffy Tyler Duff come on at some point in time before the college. And college football also just announced resitting their playoffs, which I don't know how it works, but it can't be worse than last year.
Every year.
Yeah, they changed. Although I think this is going to be better.
I wouldn't say last year wasn't horrible. Last year was better than it's always been. But since it was the first year, there's a lot of improvements to make on what happened that first year. I would much rather have what we had last year than throughout history, the 4 teams just chosen among the committee. I'd rather have what we had last year.
Yeah. I feel like last year's a little bit more fair.
Yeah, and they'll improve on the seating, which needed to be fixed a little bit, but if they're working the kinks out in college football playoffs, we'll be better for that. But I want to go back to something you said, Josh. Boston was no. I'm talking about Tom Brady and the Patriots and the stability they brought the city. They allowed the other teams in the city to kind of have those ruts and still be called Title Town, because if you look at it, the Red Sox built 3 different World Series teams on the time Tom Brady was here. 04, 07, and 13. And even 18. They built 4. They built 4 different World Series cores while Tom Brady and the Patriots were here. The Celtics, 2008, they won a championship, and yeah, it took a few extra years after Tom Brady left, but that core had been built while the Patriots were still the New England Patriots. The Bruins, they won in 2011, and yeah, they didn't win another Stanley Cup, but they were building Stanley Cup caliber teams while Brady was here, and they were able to go through the rebuilds, and I don't want to say quietly, because people still talked about it, but they could suck, and they would still be okay. At least we still have the Patriots to root for. And now with that gone, the pressure is on all the other teams to be a little bit more involved with how they perform when it comes to their regular season and postseason expectations. So I think Loserville is too early, but if they continue in this direction And when the Celtics dynasty is over, if the Patriots can't figure it out, if the Red Sox can't figure it out, the Bruins are the furthest from figuring it out by far. They're gonna be Boston sports are gonna be in trouble for a bit.
No.
Sad times.
No. You're not willing to accept, Sarah, that we're in the dark days now.
Nope. But then everyone, that's why you like the Jaguars, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you not realize the Jaguars are just as bad as the Patriots, maybe worse?
Yeah.
They're not
the Jaguars, at least, they've never won anything.
Dude. And I'm not a Jaguars fan. I like Trevor Lawrence. That's it.
We have well established
if Trevor
that.
Lawrence moved teams, would you follow him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Trevor Lawrence fan.
What if he went
fan?
What if he went to like the Giants? Would you still be
I'd watch.
I'd watch in sadness. I'd watch in disgust.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would just be like, dude, how did you get it worse?
I know. I feel like Jacksonville.
Tom, what if Tatum moved to like New York? Would you follow Tatum?
Tatum's not moving anywhere. He's gonna retire a Celtic, and that jersey is gonna go up in the rafters. I'm not even gonna. No, not gonna happen.
Pointing up, you're actually pointing the jersey behind you.
Yeah, hangs up in my room. I don't know how many you can see, but I have a whole set up in my room now. It's awesome. I moved out of the basement.
I have my Trevor Lawrence one hanging up downstairs.
Well, I have my Tatum and Brown poster with Nick Berry's face taped below it with Larry Bird as well. So I got all my Celtic stuff in my room.
Anything on my kid's large Isaiah Thomas jersey.
You gotta hang that sucker up, bro.
It is hung up. It's in my room. It's the only jersey hung up in my room. It's my kid's.
I love how Tom has it on a hanger.
Yeah, it's on
I don't have enough money to like frame it. I still want to wear it.
Wear
that jersey.
Xander got me a signed Trevor Lawrence jersey with a frame, and I was like,
"That's not framed. That's just mine. I haven't met Tatum yet, so it's not signed."
So I'm like torn. I'm like, I'm very
you can't
happy.
wear a signed jersey.
I know. Also, I can't wear it. Period. It's a Jaguars jersey.
Would you sleep in it? You probably sleep in it secretly when Xander's not there. You probably sleep in it.
No, it's downstairs in the closet. He'd kill me.
You put it on like a giant teddy bear and you cuddle with it, and you like tape some hair to it.
So I put it on. Trevor. Say, come here.
Yeah. Give it a Trevor Lawrence wig.
Yeah, for real.
Speaking of Trevor Lawrence wig, I actually have one. That was my sister's Christmas present to my boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh my god.
To the boyfriend? That's crazy work.
Because everyone said that they were like, why, why him? And my boss was like, he looks like Trevor Lawrence. And I'm like, he looks nothing like Trevor Lawrence, but sure. He had long blonde hair when we met.
Still one of the longest Trevors. He had like a flow going. Trevor has like sunshine from Remember the Titans type of hair. It was a great.
He takes his helmet off. And it's like slow motion flowing in the wind, like that.
Yeah,
that's
like Baywatch.
Immediately what you're getting.
All right. Well, Sarah's gonna be back in a second. She's lagging a little bit. Keep it going. But yeah, I think Loserville's too early. When she does return, though, hopefully she does return. I don't know if you can join during a recording. That would be very interesting. Then I have to do a lot of extra work to edit it all together. Josh, we're going to get into all the Patriots wide receiver talk, and specifically Stefon Diggs on a boat with a weird substance. Nobody really knows what the substance is, but I think the Patriots wide receiver room, out of all the position groups here in New England, I think the Patriots have the wide receiver room is the most interesting room because there's so many guys, like name guys that we know of who were on the team last year, who I don't think will be on the team this upcoming season. And still very, very early. OTAs are just kicking off. I think they've been going on for about a week now. Another session today as well. But this wide receiver room, it's going to have a lot of cuts. A lot of cuts. I wrote all the guys' names down. I'm going to send another invite just in case Sarah needs it as we go. It's on the rundown, Josh, if you wouldn't mind pulling that up.
No, you're gonna get a ton of guys getting cut. You're gonna see it's kind of weird, the Patriots wide receiver room, because there's no one good on this team, but there's not enough room for all these guys, if that makes sense.
Like Matt Collins.
So I think if you look at the Patriots wide receiver room, I think it's 9 guys vying for 6 spots, or maybe it's 10 guys vying for 6 spots. And I think only 4 of them are locks to make the team. So you have like three guys battling for two spots, essentially. Stefon Diggs, we're going to get into all the boat stuff in a second with the weird substance and all the Instagram hoes. Yes, Sarah?
I don't like him.
We're going to get into that in a second. We're going to get to that into a second, I promise. So Diggs is going to be on the team whether you like it or not. He'll be your wide receiver 1. Kyle Williams, the 3rd round wide receiver, draft pick, will make this team. Yep, he looks promising, but I thought the same thing about Polk and Baker, so I'm keeping my reservations pretty low.
You also bet on Baker. You bet on like a...
I was so high on Javon Baker.
No,
I was so high on Javon Baker.
Javon Baker anytime touchdown against, like, what team was it?
It was like the 2nd week of the season. I was like, this is his week. He's going to explode this week.
You got so upset because of that.
He didn't even touch the field, bro.
I'm like, why are you upset that Javon Baker, of all people, didn't get a freaking touchdown? You idiot.
Anyways, going back to... All right, we're going to get to Baker, I promise, because he was in the media yesterday.
He's one of them.
Pop Douglas is going to make this team. And Matt Collins is going to make this team. Those are your 4 wide receivers that I think are guaranteed to make this team. You have 5 guys vying for 2 spots. Kendrick Bourne, Jalen Polk, Kayshon Boutte, Javon Baker, and this undrafted guy who's been he's pretty much like dubbed as like, he's supposed to be like your next like Danny Amendola guy, Efton Chisholm.
UC Davis, or is that someone else?
I have no clue where he's from, but he's getting a ton of hype from OTAs, good route running. I think he'll make the team. He could make it as a special teams guy. That way you save a roster spot in a sense. But either way, Bourne, Polk, Boutte, Baker, 2 of them are getting cut. And I think Bourne and Boutte are it's really interesting on how to do it. Do you keep Kendrick Bourne and like maybe you go with Baker or Polk, or you go with Polk and say, okay, let's see if this 2nd round pick can develop this year, or do you go with Baker and Polk and say we drafted these 2 guys last year, let's see if we can develop them, and you like it's very interesting in my eyes in which way that they go, or does Vrabel, say I didn't draft Polk, I didn't draft Baker, they're out of here, they're not my guys. I think that is the most likely situation. Especially with Javon Baker yesterday, he kicked like a deep ball from Drake May. I don't know if you saw the reports at OTAs, but he caught a deep ball in May. He had a crazy push-off when he was, like, celebrating like he had just won the Super Bowl. And Mike Vrabel went right over and chewed his ass out. Baker, not Polk, Baker.
I think Baker's the kind of like the number 1, gonzo kind of guy.
Like he's going to get cut?
I love Boutte. Pause.
Somebody clip that.
I feel like and Bourne, I feel like were the more reliable receivers last year.
I like Kayshon Boutte, and Kendrick Bourne does make sense. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if he gets rid of Bourne for Polk. Just because Polk is in the 2nd year. I wouldn't be surprised because Polk is in the 2nd year. And so maybe Vrabel wants to give him that chance because he has the young upside compared to Kendrick Bourne. I personally think it should just be Bourne and Boutte, but I wouldn't be surprised if we come into like next week's show and it's, Jalen Polk is on this team and Kendrick Bourne is on the side of the road.
I think Polk is a waste of space. No, I'm sorry. I'm feeling very unfiltered today, so I'm not trying to like offend anyone, but what I want him to do, I want Vrabel to go in, look at the tape from last year. I started calling Polk Butterfingers in game 2.
He's got butter on his hands.
He could not catch a ball to save his life. Why keep him? He proved to us last year he was not reliable. Where Bourne and Boutte, I love that name, came out and...
I love Boutte.
I think it's French. I think it's Boutte.
Well, everyone says Boutte, so I'm going to keep saying I love Boutte.
Say what we hear from ESPN. But I just think since they were a little bit more reliable, I think they should be the 2 more deservings because they proved themselves. And honestly, I'm sick of that everyone gets a participation trophy. That's bullshit. You didn't win, you don't got a spot. Sorry. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Like, sorry.
Didn't Jalen Polk drop like a wide open touchdown pass last year?
I'm sure he dropped a bunch of wide open balls. I'm sure it wasn't just one.
And I just think that he needed him to do something so we could fucking win.
Yeah. I think the only thing Jalen Polk has going for him is because he only has played one single year in the NFL, and they may want to give him more opportunities. I think that's really his only method of persuasion, is that he's only been in the NFL for 1 year, so Vrabel may want to give him the extra opportunities. Again, the young upside, the potential, you never know what could happen with a player like that.
I mean, if he goes off to another team, he gets cut, goes to another team, and he becomes the next like Saquon Barkley, like, great, we fucked up. But you know what? I don't care.
I think they hold on to him. They held on to N'Keal Harry for 2 years too long. He should have been gone after his second year. That dude sucks, and they held on to him for his full rookie contract, I think.
Didn't he last year?
N'Keal Harry?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking right now.
I think he made the Bears roster as a tight end last year and got cut, but don't hold me to that. Yeah, he moved his position to tight end to make a roster spot. I'm pretty sure that's how bad N'Keal Harry is. He's terrible, but he's a massive dude. So you're like, oh, maybe he can be like a blocking tight end, and maybe eventually he can develop some sort of hands. Didn't work out well. He got cut. So yeah, if they're holding on to guys like N'Keal Harry, who they spent first round pick on when Bill was here for a few years to see if he could develop with Brady, I think they'll hold on to Polk. I think Baker's done for. Yeah. Because N'Keal Harry was here with Brady.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Polk, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Polk. I think they hold on to Polk just to see if he can develop some sort of a second year. Maybe a McDaniel's offensive scheme gives him a boost or something along those lines for more deep shots.
Thing like that.
You never know. The offense was putrid last year, so maybe they gave him and Baker a break. I just don't think Baker has a shot of making this team. A 6th-round draft pick. He couldn't touch the field last year. And then you have that he's celebrating a push-off touchdown in OTAs, and Vrabel's coming out and chewing his ass out. It's just not looking good for Baker to make the team in my eyes. So it comes down to Booty or Bourne. Maybe they trade Bourne and try to get, or Booty or Bourne, maybe they try to get like a 7th-round draft pick out of one of them. I can see that very well happening, but the 4 that are locked are the 4 that are actually going to play the most. Diggs, Williams, Pop Douglas, and Mac Hollins. Those 4 will be your main 4 and your core wide receiver group. And they're going to be young. Only one that's a veteran in that is Diggs. And Diggs has been doing some questionable things this past week.
Diggs, the oldest one, he's the veteran, and yet he's doing the dumbest shit.
And he played like absolute shit last season.
He was injured.
He got injured, and he was on par to have a good year, the wide receiver 2 of the Texans.
Yeah, wide receiver 2 for the Texans.
Yeah, because Nico Collins was there. Nico Collins is one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Okay, then why do I don't like him.
He was the wide receiver 1 on the Bills before that.
And what did he do there?
He helped unlock Josh Allen. He had multiple 1,000 yards. No, but Sarah, we're not going to win a Super Bowl. I want the Patriots to be competitive before they win a Super Bowl, okay? And I think Diggs is a step in that direction.
Sarah made it clear that she does not like Stefon Diggs. Don't go further.
Are you a fan of Cardi B by chance? Because that's his girlfriend. He's dating Cardi B.
Is that true?
Married to Offset.
No, she's dating Cardi B. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they were at the
Met Gala together.
I'm pretty sure they were. I'm pretty positive they're dating.
You said Stefon Diggs and Cardi B.
I'm pretty positive.
Cardi B and new boyfriend Stefon Diggs.
Bang! That's right. I got my finger on the pulse of pop culture there. Yeah, that's right. What? I knew that.
They had a courtside date at the New York Knicks game, confirming their romance 6 months ago.
Cardi was on the yacht with him.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I don't follow pop culture, so I didn't know this up until now. I don't care about celebrity relationships. Either.
Yep, that's right. I got my finger on the pulse of pop culture right there. Either way, Diggs is...
Tom's like, let me look at all these divas real quick. Oh my god, he broke up with his girlfriend. Oh my god, Cardi B. Oh my god, she's dating Stefon Diggs now. Holy shit, guys.
Well, maybe she's his supplier for that pink stuff that he was handing out on the yacht. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know what that was.
What pink stuff? I don't know what you're talking about.
He did it himself. Didn't he get arrested or something last year? No, that was someone else.
That was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. I was like, that's Miami.
Hey, maybe the trait of a wide receiver 1 that the Patriots need is just a horrible human being, but a great receiver. And if that's what Stefon Diggs is going to be, I do not care, because I have to watch if I have to watch one more season of the likes of Kendrick Bourne, Keyshawn, like these guys who just like are so majorly suck.
Hey, don't disrespect Keyshawn Booty.
Polk,
I love Booty.
I want to watch Jalen Polk go and try and catch a football. Like Tyquan Thornton go out there, and they're great human beings, but they suck at football. If Diggs is going to have a little bit of a wild side to him, but he can play ball, I do not care at this point. I could care less about that right now.
So if your wide receiver 1 is literally on drugs, illegal drugs, you don't care.
Let me
emphasize.
First of all,
illegal drugs.
First of all, the video doesn't show Diggs doing any of it. He just was handing it out. That's not doing it. That's supplying. Different things right there.
Oh, illegal.
We don't know what the substance was. It could have been. It could have been fun dip for all we know.
I don't take drugs, but I'm a drug dealer. That makes me a saint, guys.
Oh, you said if he was on drugs, he's not taking. He wasn't taking it. He wasn't taking it. He was handing it out, and he was like, "Don't take too much of this, ladies." He was watching out for them.
Okay, it's still
it's a bad look, nonetheless. I'm not saying it's a great look. I'm just saying. You asked me if he was doing the drugs. I said no. He was just handing it out. It's different than doing.
It's no good.
I'm not agreeing. It's a bad look.
Vrabel and the Crafts, they're not going to put up with that.
Kraft probably will.
No, he won't.
Kraft probably won't care.
If for how bad this team has been, Kraft wants to build another team before he goes, and he wants to get in the Football Hall of Fame. He'll let that slide for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
How are they going to get far if dumbass over here gets suspended?
Well, I don't think he's going to get suspended because they can't prove what the substance was. Like, yeah, the NFL, I think, says they're going to look into it, but they can't prove what the substance was, so they can't discipline him for it.
Now, historically, Goodell hates us.
Yeah, but they can't prove what the substance was. They can't say, "Oh, you were handing out pink cocaine. You're suspended for X amount of games or whatever."
It's at the frickin' Pink Pony Club. Yay!
Yeah, They can't prove what it was, so they can't suspend the guy. I don't think he's in any trouble of that. I just think he's scheduled for a conversation with Mike Vrabel.
Back to Kraft though. After what happened, after Kraft did a couple years ago with his situation, I don't think he cares one bit.
Kraft got caught on camera in the act and did a lot to make sure that footage did not get released. So the fact that Diggs was just holding it and telling these girls, "Don't take too much, lady," as they all called him daddy, I don't think he's in that much trouble. Have you guys not watched the video?
No.
Why are you guys giving me that look?
No, I have. But yeah. I just didn't think you were gonna mention that.
Yeah, they were all like twerking on him, and then it cuts, and he's like handing out. Like they're sitting there, and he's like, all these girls are like, "Daddy," and he's like handing out this pink like drug thing, and then they start choking him, and he's like, "Don't take too much, ladies." And I'm like, "What is this video?"
I feel like he's gonna get more heat from Cardi B than Robert Kraft, if anything.
Yeah. She was on the boat, so who knows? It's an interesting situation. It's not a good look at all. It's not a good start at all. I will admit that it's a bad starting point. But if this is as worse as it gets, I'm fine with that. Again, as long as this guy is healthy for week 1 and can catch a football, I really do not care. And he can help unlock Drake May. I don't care about his diva antics. He's not going to be here for that long. I don't think he's on this team when they win their next Super Bowl. He's here to help develop Drake May and bring some sort of talent in the room before they draft some. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, so he's just going to be strung out every week. Great.
If that dude wants to go club every single night, except for Saturday nights, and he's at the game, I do not care. As long as he's just doing what he's supposed, as long as he shows up to practice and stuff and he catches footballs, I do not care. And as long as he doesn't bring my young wide receivers.
Strippers.
Yeah.
It's like James Harden in the strip clubs.
And James Harden won MVP the year he's in the strip club.
Went to the strip clubs a ton of times, but ended up winning MVP, and he's one of the all-time greatest shooting guards we've ever seen.
Yep. So as long as he can still catch footballs and he doesn't do anything illegal, I don't care.
He already did something illegal.
What was it?
Distributing.
We don't know what the substance was yet. It could have been Fun Dip for all we know.
So you just carry out Fun Dip in a plastic bag?
It was.
I don't know. It's pretty good.
It was strawberry lemonade.
Yeah, it was actually pink lemonade mix that is from his mama that he was going to make on the boat, okay?
It's
and he did the water from the ocean to make the lemonade. That's why he was on the boat with the pink lemonade mix that you buy at Price Chopper, okay?
Let me just
Who's got the lemons?
From the harbor. That's smart.
Yeah, and then they boil the water. You have the freshest lemonade on the planet. You boil it and clean the water.
Ocean saltwater lemonade? Oh, someone's going to make that.
Well, no, you boil it to get rid of the salt water.
Well, yeah, but, I feel like you should make it just to see what it, tastes like. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe it's like a sweet and sour drink. I don't know.
Maybe it was a bunch of Smarties he had crushed up. Who knows what that substance was? Nobody knows what the substance is. There's speculation, but nobody really knows what it is.
What do you think it is?
I think it was pink cocaine. I'm not dumb, but yeah, it probably was cocaine. It probably was pink cocaine, but I can't prove it.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun dip. All right.
I like Mac Hollins.
Sara disliked summary of that whole segment. Sara does not like Stefon Diggs. Did not know Stefon Diggs was dating Cardi B. Sara likes Mac Hollins. Sara thinks he was giving out cocaine on the boat. Summary of that segment in 5 minutes, by the way.
The episode. Make that the headline for the episode.
Yeah, that's part of the one we post on social media too, right there. Summary of the segment. Sara disliked Stefon Diggs. Sara liked Mac Hollins.
That's like, a lot of people say that I have very interesting take on sports, and it's probably because I have some of the most insane opinions about people that I probably should like. Like, he's coming to help our team. He's talented. I don't like him.
I mean, he is undoubtedly the most talented wide receiver on this roster.
He doesn't give out good vibes.
No longer in the no. At a point in time, we could have made the argument he was up there, but
not now.
No, now after coming off an injury, but he's still
pick one wide receiver
now in the league.
Yeah,
Jettas every day of the week. Jettas, not even close. The only one close is Jamar Chase.
I was gonna say the week to week basis, like
Higgins.
Jamar Chase can put him
above
Jettas week to week.
You're taking T. Higgins over every wide receiver in the league, Sara.
I'm looking back at Tom and Sara on my screen right now. I'm looking back and forth. If you can't tell,
you are taking. If you can have any wide receiver on the Patriots, you're taking T. Higgins.
So last week Tom had horrible takes, and now we're switching up with Sara.
That's an interesting one. Can you elaborate?
I know what he's capable of.
And it's still not close to what Justin Jefferson. He's not even the best wide receiver on his own team. He's the second best wide receiver on his team.
He's the wide receiver 2. Emphasis when you went back to saying Stefon Diggs was a wide receiver 2 on the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans.
And the Bengals didn't even make the playoffs last year.
The Texans this season were a better team than the Bengals.
Didn't make the playoffs last year because the fucking Chiefs, okay? That was their fault.
They didn't make the playoffs because they lost to the New England Patriots in week 1.
Yeah. They didn't make the playoffs because their defense is absolutely atrocious.
Sorry. Do you know where T went to college?
I'm guessing Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, all right, we're gonna.
Let me guess. You would love to have Trevor Lawrence on the Patriots, then, wouldn't you?
God,
out of every quarterback in the NFL,
Lawrence,
you'd take Trevor Lawrence over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
The loyalties here are crazy.
I am loyal to
literally 2 minutes ago, she did just say she has the weirdest player evaluations of all time based on her own personal like or dislike of them.
Right though.
Huh?
I'm usually right though. I was right about Mac Jones and none of you assholes listened to me.
Wait, what was that? You cut out a little bit.
I said I was right about Mac Jones and none of you assholes listened to me.
Hey, he had the body of a quarterback. I don't care. He looked like an all-time quarterback.
You went to Alabama. What did you think he did every day?
Drank beer, smoke cigars, and throw footballs around.
What was in Stefon Diggs' little baggie?
I don't think he was doing cocaine.
Pink lemonade?
He's surprised.
Pink lemonade. He was doing fun dip? He's doing fun dip?
Oh?
Huh?
You ever hear of blow or blow?
Hey.
It's a nice thing.
PG-13 content.
that bag was filled with like the pink powder that you put in your toilet to clean it. He was cleaning the boat's toilets.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. It's time to move on. All right, moving to the tourist attraction. Again, biggest story outside of Boston that we haven't talked about yet, regardless of the sport or what team it is. Josh, why don't you start us off?
So I am going to stay with what I did last week. Not the exact same thing, but I'm going to stick with Timberwolves versus Thunder, but in a different aspect. The biggest, what was it? Game 5 the other day. So game 4 the other day. Thunder won that game. Did you see how it ended?
I didn't see how it ended, but I saw they got blown out.
Game 4? No. Game 4 it wasn't
Game
a blowout.
4, it was the foul. Like the intentional foul.
It was like the intentional fouling game. That's what it was all about. It was 128 to 126. The reason I'm bringing this up is because one of the biggest things in playoff sport, or just in basketball, playoff basketball especially, is the final seconds. the final play. We all want to see the final play. Is it a buzzer beater? Is it a big defensive play? All that. This game was entirely close throughout the entire thing. And so the Thunder were up by 3, and the Wolves have the ball. Instead of just playing simple defense, letting the Wolves try to make up a play, they instead intentionally foul the Wolves on defense. Well, excuse me, while they're up, intentionally foul the Wolves so that they go to the line. So they can only shoot 2. They can't shoot 3. Therefore, the game was just ending in and then the Wolves had to foul the Thunder when they get the ball back, and back and forth with fouls. It completely ruined the end of the game. The game was great up until the final 30 seconds or so, simply because it was just all intentional fouling. Because it used to be, if you're down, you foul the other team to get the ball back. But now teams who are even up are starting to foul now so that the other teams can't have an opportunity to score. So this, to me, is kind of ruining basketball in the way that when you're watching basketball, you're not going to get the final shot of the game. You're not going to see, the star player, Anthony Edwards, SGA, Tatum, take the final 3 or final drive of the game. No, it's just simply going to be back and forth fouls. I think it ruins the experience of basketball. I think it ruins the experience of watching from home, especially the people who paid thousands to go watch that game. It ruined the experience for them because the game ended in, shitty fouls that no one cares to watch. And there's so many fouls in this era of basketball. And so the league, I think, needs to look into this and say, we need to change something about this because we're really ruining one of the biggest aspects of basketball, which is the final few plays of a very close game. Is it smart? Yeah, I get why they're doing it. It's a smart play by the coach to take advantage of that rule. They're going to take advantage of a rule that doesn't have any restrictions. But I do think come next season that if this were to become a regular thing, the league needs to look into this and find a way to shut it down because it ruins watching basketball, in my opinion.
That's such a good point, Josh, and something I didn't think about, but you're absolutely, not that I didn't think about, but I had forgotten. Such a good point. It completely ruined the game because it came down to, okay, here the Timberwolves have a chance to tie or win the game, and they get fouled and they can't tie the game, and they can't tie anymore. They consistently stay a point behind all the way to the end of the game. So I think the easy solution for the NBA is if it's under 24 seconds or so, there's no shot clock, and you intentionally foul when a team is down by more than 2 points to send them to the free throw line, it should be a take foul and the ball is what it should be.
Yeah, people have come out to say, or trying to find solutions of it, and they said similar to what you just said, if it's in a certain scenario with this amount of time left, okay, now instead you get 3 free throws instead of 2 to try at least tie it, so you at least still get your opportunity. Or if you do it, it ends up being a technical foul, which kind of is the same thing. So you get the technical foul and then the 2 free throws or something like that.
You get the free throws and the ball back.
That's what it is. You get the 2 free throws and you get the ball back. So you're only down by 1 and then you get another possession as well. That's what it was. So people are coming up with solutions already to come up with it. I would like to see something like that change this offseason. If nothing changes this offseason, because it's only happened such few times, I would assume it's going to happen a ton next season. So I expect a change to be happened by the end of next season, end of 2026.
Well, I think you'll see the Timberwolves because they did the governors meetings because the NBA, they're not owners, they're governors. Stupid, whatever. They do the governors meeting to talk about new rules and the rule change at the end of every season. I wouldn't be shocked if the Timberwolves propose a rule change like that.
I don't blame them.
And I don't blame it at all. It very well should be changed because it really does just ruin the game. And I don't think it'll be approved this year, but you wait a year or two, it'll change. It was like the NFL overtime rules in the playoffs. Teams wanted to change. Enough teams had to get screwed over by it to change it, and then it changed. That's how the rule will change in the NBA.
It's similar to all the free throws that happen and flopping. People want there to be a rule change about flopping because there's so many free throws in it, and I get that it can ruin a little bit of experience. but I wouldn't really necessarily say that flopping changes the entire experience or the entire outcome of a game, where if something like this with, final play of the game and you're only down by 2, that can intentionally ruin the outcome of the game.
Yeah, great points. I couldn't agree more, Josh. Ruined the end of what should have been an all-time classic finish, but can't go back and change it. Thunder now in the NBA Finals. Pacers, they win tonight. They meet them there in the NBA Finals. So what might be the least watched NBA Finals of all time, but I'm sure we'll talk about that next week when the finals are decided.
Well,
I know we're going to watch it either way, Josh.
Yeah, but don't say it's going to be the least watched.
Well, Tom's probably going to bet on it to be that, so.
I haven't bet on the Eastern or Western Conference Finals yet. My mother was asking me for some advice today on what she thinks she should take for Halliburton points or whatnot, so I don't want to say that. I haven't kept my eye on it.
You should tell her to take the over on Halliburton points.
That's what she's doing. The over's like 20.5 or something, which is low, but Halliburton
has stepped up.
Halliburton's not like the go-to scorer or whatever. He's more of a facilitator, kind of do it all. But we'll get to Halliburton in a second with mine. Sarah, what did you bring today in the tourist attraction?
It's not really anything crazy, but I kind of just wanted to talk about David Andrews because he's retiring.
His press conference was yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was on Monday. Great guy.
One of the great. First of all, phenomenal human being before great football player. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget seeing the videos of him from the last Super Bowl win of him like walking around shirtless in the crowd, just drinking beer with people. But on top of that,
I actually saw him. I've been to every parade, naturally.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've met a handful of Patriots players. Unfortunately, I never had the chance to meet him. But just like, he joined us in 2015. He's been with us for 10 seasons, so 10 years. And a lot of people, I feel like, are like, oh, like he was a 3rd round, 4th round. And no, he went undrafted. So he went undrafted to the Patriots in 2015, and he was our starter for all 16 seasons that 16 games. Every season he started all 16 games in the regular season. And then he got hurt, or not hurt. He had
a medical illness.
I know what it is, but I don't know how to say it. It's like I don't even know how to say it. But it was scary, but he came back, didn't play all of got hurt in 2023, didn't play 2024, came back, was released by the Patriots in March. But he was with us for a few Super Bowls. And he was our captain since 2017? Yeah. So it's sad to see him go. He was the last player from our Super Bowl run, I want to say, in 2019.
I think he and Joe Cardona, the long snapper, were the last 2 guys from those Super Bowl, the Brady Belichick era, which I think is ultimately why he got cut, because I think Vrabel just wanted to, which is, Vrabel was entitled to do so. Any old veterans who wants to build a completely new culture, everybody's got to go. You got to break it down and build it back up. So he was more of a casualty to that. I think he still had football to play, but I think ultimately he made the decision that it was time for him to retire as a New England Patriot.
I mean, that health thing that he was out for, I feel like that is very serious, hence why he did not play. And I do think that had a little something to do with it. But yes, he is a great player, but he's an even better person. I don't think I know a charity event that the Patriots had that he wasn't at. Like, there wasn't a time where he wasn't at the Boston Children's Hospital visiting with kids and doing like Make-A-Wish projects, and he was just such a great person to have on the team, and he was such a great leader and a person of example in my mind. And I think it is going to hurt them a little bit now that he's gone. But at the same time, that is the game, and it sucks, but it's just something that we have to adjust.
Yeah. David Andrews, he'll be a Patriot Hall of Famer.
Oh, 100%.
Up there with, the great offensive linemen, centers throughout the history of the Patriots dynasty regime. And he closed it out as one of the best centers that they had throughout that dynasty. So appreciate you, Bear. Everything you did, David Andrews, you're a beast. I'm sure you will not. I'm sure we will see you be the keeper of the lighthouse at some time this season. So I know you'll be back in Foxborough.
Cannot wait to come back.
No, he'll be electric, and he'll love that. He'll probably take his shirt off. Something that guy likes to do. Absolutely.
He kind of reminds me of Jason Kelce a little bit, like personality.
Very good pull. Very similar personality style. To close it out, though, I want to go back to Tyrese Halliburton for my edition of the tourist attraction. The coverage, first of all, the coverage for the Eastern and Western Conference Finals on ESPN has been terrible. It's been absolutely terrible. All the talk shows, like, I don't give a shit what the Morris brothers have to say about. Their Morris brothers were role players at their best. I don't care what they have to say about the game of basketball, respectfully. I know they know more than I will ever. They have forgotten more about the game than I will ever know about the game, but I still don't care what their opinion is. They were role players at best, and I don't think either of them ever won an NBA a world championship.
You don't care about their opinions. You think anyone's going to care about your opinion?
Yeah.
That was mean.
That was funny.
Yeah, very funny, Josh. Very funny. My mom.
I knew you were going to say that.
I can hear her listening in the hallway because I swore I can hear her listening.
I hope your mother loves every single second of this podcast. I'm kidding, though.
I hope so. But no, it's just like, okay, whoop-de-doo, these old guys who never won are complaining about the way the game of basketball is played. It's different when it's Shaq out there, who's one of the greatest players of all time, complaining about the game and things of that nature. I don't care when these no-names are doing it, like the Morris brothers. I don't care about Gilbert Arenas, who is best known for being the guy who brought a gun. Yeah, Gilly Lock, Agent Zero, great basketball player. But when you think of Gilbert Arenas, what do you think of? The first thing you think of, Josh?
Amazing player for the Wizards.
Nope, the first thing everybody thinks about is he's the guy who brought a gun into the locker room to shoot his teammate.
What?
Okay.
Yeah. Gilbert Arenas, basketball player for the Wizards in like the 2000s, he brought a gun to the locker room to to shoot his teammate.
Zero like that. Move on. Don't diss Agent Zero.
No, he didn't. But he brought a gun into the locker room because he had a disagreement with one of his teammates or whatever. So that's what people.
Fault.
I don't think they're scared of the players to bring a gun in the locker room. But either way, the way they have been.
Check.
Sure. The way, just blowing off them. I want to get to my original point. The way they have been covering Tyrese Halliburton in this playoff run is super disrespectful. I swear ESPN every day is debating whether or not Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar or whatnot. The dude just put up a 32-point game with 15 assists and 12 rebounds and 0 turnovers, and is like the first guy to do that since one of the first guys to do that in NBA history. The dude is putting on a clinic of how to protect the basketball but facilitate for your team, and he's also able to score the basketball when needed, and he hit. I know it didn't win in the game, but that buzzer beater to send them to overtime in game 1 when the Knicks blew that lead, part and point, because Aaron Naismith caught fire, former Boston Celtic right there, hit 4 threes in a row. But Halliburton hits the mid-range step-back jump shot that bounces off the back rim into the skybox and back down into the basket to send them to overtime. I don't know why they're disrespecting the guy. They should be building up these players as the new superstars of the league that we get to watch for the next decade instead of complaining about their style of play. And yeah, I know I complain about SGA flopping too much, but he's one of the best players in the world. I'm going to enjoy watching him play. Yeah, I can't stand when the guy gets touched by the literal air of somebody moving past him and he cries like a bitch, but he's still a phenomenal basketball player to watch. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, they want to make him the face of the league, but the dude hasn't escaped the Western Conference Finals, and he played like absolute shit last night. I don't know why we're breaking down all these good players and then building up like these media darlings that that ESPN just loves to cover. And they're going to be in serious trouble because when LeBron James retires, I seriously do not know what ESPN is going to broadcast for 6 hours a day because they talk about that guy all the livelong day. So instead of breaking down these young, exciting new players who are going to be the face of the league, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, these young guys, Jalen Brunson, he's been catching a lot of flack as of late. Let's build these guys up and enjoy what we're watching, just like we should be enjoying watching the last years of LeBron James, the last years of Kevin Durant, the last years of Steph Curry, instead of holding them over this candlelight to kind of protect them and their legacy from these new players. It's a passing of the torch.
I think you make a great point. You just took the words right out of my mouth. The NBA is failing to pass the torch to these younger guys. They're so focused in still on the 2010/2000s era of these great legends that they're kind of just ignoring the young stars that are are up and rising in today's league. I mean, you throw Jalen Brunson in there, throw Tyrese Halliburton, SGA, Anthony Edwards. They do hype up a little bit, but then again, I mean, you see LeBron every 2 seconds. And the special thing about these conference finals is look at the 4 teams that are left. All the best players on each one of those teams has not won a championship yet. The Knicks, and if you look at the teams themselves, the Knicks haven't won a championship in God knows how long. The Thunder have never won one, unless you want to count the
Supersonics.
The Supersonics, thank you. Timberwolves have never won one. And then you have the Pacers as well. And especially with the Pacers against the Knicks, that's a rivalry right there. Why are you not hyping this up? It is the rivalry of Reggie Miller, Joe Cold. I don't get why we're not hyping this up so much. I personally think, based off this playoff series, Tyrese Halliburton is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference, at least. I'll throw him above Jalen Brunson based off what we've seen so far. Considering how much Tyrese Halliburton has stepped up, I don't think it's a question that he is a superstar. I think he's the best point guard at this moment, right at this second. I think that Tyrese Halliburton is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. So it's without a doubt that, yeah, he is a superstar. And that come next year, you're going to have, the best players in the Eastern Conference are going to be Halliburton at the 1, Mitchell at the 2. If you want to throw Tatum in there at the 3, you can, but based off the injury, I'd get if you want to leave him out. And then what, you have Embiid, and then who's the 4?
You have Giannis if he's still with the
Bucks.
Yeah.
So the 3 and the 4 will fluctuate if you want to throw Tatum in there or not based off the injury, and then again Giannis. But without a doubt, Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell are all going to be up there. So why are we not seeing them next? Why are we not seeing them in the headlines? All we're seeing is LeBron. Wait until LeBron announces his retirement that season. Because I've said this before, LeBron's going to announce his retirement and play one more season. He's not going to play a season then announce his retirement. He's going to announce it, then play a season. Imagine the coverage of that season when LeBron announces his retirement. It's going to be crazy.
ESPN might go dark for a day when LeBron retires. They don't know what they're going to do. But I just want to point that out because
they'll probably still talk about LeBron.
Yeah. Well, Luka's going to be the new guy if he stays in LA. Luka is just going to be flux into that spot, which is okay.
And then you want to know what they're going to do? Well, Luka wouldn't have been able to do this if LeBron wasn't on the team and was able to ride
ESPN
him
actually ESPN actually hires LeBron James full time to do first take with Stephen A. Smith so they can still talk about his legacy. So it's going to happen. But
Real quick side note. Mm-hmm. Did you want to make a point, though? Go ahead.
No, I was going to close the show. So make your side point.
Did you see Pat McAfee's promo during the
that was awesome. I love it. I'm a McAfee guy.
I don't think he's ever going to get the mic again, but goddamn, I love that.
Yeah, he's I think I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan of McAfee since I was in high school, so I'm a big fan of Pat McAfee.
That promo was great. What he calls out
Spike Lee, Ben Stiller, Timothy Chalamet. Get your bitch ass back to New York.
Let's send these bitches back to New York.
Yeah, it was great. But quiet week in sports, not a ton going on. The Red Sox suck. I got to rant about it. The Patriots wide receiver room is arguably the most interesting wide receiver room in the league and the most interesting position group in the position group on the New England Patriots as of right now. The Boston Bruins still don't have a head coach. Some rumors going around. Celtics still kind of waiting for the season to wrap up before they start making some moves. We'll have an NBA Finals game, I believe, next time. Maybe the day after, the day before we record next time. So we'll get to talk about that. We'll have the matchup set. Hockey match, Stanley Cup Finals will be set by the next time we talk as well. So a lot will be going on next week, and OTAs will continue, and we'll hold on to every single report we get like it's gold, because we don't have much going on in the Boston sports world to hold on to right now. But that's
I got a report, as you say, Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld are getting married this weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
Another good one gone, bro.
Now I got the pop culture going.
Yeah, all the good ones are taken, bro. All the good ones are taken.
Was expecting me to be the pop culture person. I don't know shit about pop culture.
Only reason I know he's dating Cardi B is because they were talking about it on EEI this morning. That's the only reason I know. Because I'm glued into it. All the sports news. I get all the stupid stuff too.
Yeah. summer here.
It's probably because you've been looking up too much Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. Jordan
Dude,
Hudson.
The Jordan Bill Belichick stuff is it's so crazy. Like, I was listening to the radio last night, and some guy from Nantucket called in, was like giving a scoop on Arcan's show last night about, the social circles and things like that, and, Bill's boat being renamed, and it was hilarious.
Wait, have you seen the photo of the two of them at the beach?
You didn't? Yeah, the airplane. You didn't know he renamed his boat.
No,
not the airplane. I don't know if this is real or not.
It could be AI. The airplane picture is real, where he's like holding her up in the yoga pose.
No, I'm talking about the one where Jordan is a mermaid.
I haven't seen that one, but no, Bill Belichick renamed his boat.
That's not real.
I don't know if that's real. It's 1+8 rings now.
It's a 1+8 rings.
That's bad luck, right?
Yeah, it is bad luck to rename your boat, but it's not the first time he's renamed it. But I'm pretty sure he's renamed it 1+8 rings, and like they're speculating what the one ring is gonna be. I'm pretty sure it's Jordan's Bridgewater State cheerleading championship ring. I'm pretty sure that's what the one is. So she finds a way to sneak even onto his boat. But that's gonna be all we have for today. Episode 3 of the Duck Butt Dispatch. Find it on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Comment what you want to see. We're going to post the T. Higgins clip, Sarah. I'm letting you know that right now. That one was gold. And we'll get a few more out there about Sarah's wide receiver thoughts as well. But again, follow us on everything. Goodbye.